So in part one of Keyword Research is Not Dead, we covered how to use the absolute power of the AutoSuggest feature of Google to start helping you find keywords, even if you don't know what niches you want to get into. So you can simply type in the letter D and Google will give you 10 suggestions of the most trending searches that start with the letter D. And the nice thing about the AutoSuggest is that they aren't static. You could come back tomorrow and they will change based on the trends of what is happening in the world. So this article covered a whole bunch of different ways to use AutoSuggest, whether it be a single letter, whether it be a single word, whether it be a double word getting a third word suggestion, whether it be a seed level, meaning you're starting with a keyword dog and then you want the second word in that keyword to start with the letter A. You can get all A suggestions. We covered how to ask questions in get question and answers. We covered how to search in the middle or in the front of the AutoSuggest. We even covered some popular comparison-based methods such as hosting providers, so like HostGator versus and let it AutoSuggest for you, or dedicated hosting versus popular diets, so like keto versus, dieting versus, PlayStation versus, Call of Duty versus. We even talked about trends-based suggestions and getting clues on what types of keywords are popular right now. So most popular, and then the letter B, so baby names, birthday, boy names, most popular seed, baby carriers, baby clothes, baby costumes. And we also showed you how you can get AutoSuggest on a bunch of different search engines. But the most important thing, other than just getting a bunch of suggestions of keywords, is to actually get the metrics for the keywords, such as the search volume and the cost per click of each of those keywords, so that you can tell which ones are actually great keywords versus the ones that are actually not that great. People aren't really searching for them. So part one is knowing how to use the AutoSuggest to find really unique long tail keywords. And part two, which is this video, we're going to show you how to use keyword supremacy to take all these features and roll it into getting the actual cost per click and search volume of all those keywords. So let's head over to Keyword Supremacy right now, and we're going to follow this article and do the work in Keyword Supremacy so that you can see how quick and easy it is to get all the data for each of these keywords. So now we're inside of Keyword Supremacy, and I'm going to go to the keywords search keywords function, and the feature of the tool that we're going to use is the Google AutoSuggest, and we're going to type in D and then %. And what the % means is, rather than suggest the first word being the letter D and then we start with the A, B, C, we're going to put in the %, meaning I would like the suggestions to be right beside the letter D. So we simply click on search. And now what the tool does is it goes out and starts finding suggestions with D as the first letter and A as the second letter. So there's the 10 suggestions, and then DB, and then DC, DG, E. It goes through the alphabet and the numbers. And what we can do then is click on Get Metrics, and that will go and get the metrics for all the keywords. And once you click on that, it does take about a minute for us to analyze all the keywords, but then you can go over to My Searches, and you will see your list in there, and it will either be queuing, meaning it's still running, or it will show as completed. So here you can see D% 361 keywords, and to look at those keywords, we're just going to click on the little spyglass icon, and we can see all these keywords, and we now have the amount of words in the keyword phrase, the volume, the CPC, some competition, and then a bunch of little research tabs to help us just further research the keywords. So what I like to do is just either sort by volume, or you can sort by CPC. So I can see Ddos is actually one of the highest paid for clicks. It has the highest CPC. So that becomes a market that maybe you'd want to get into, and you would know, okay, maybe I want to sell DDoS hosting or DDoS prevention if you knew about the market. And a couple of the things we can do is look at the Google Trends for DDoS keywords. You can see it really spiked in June. So this is the Google Trends for this keyword over the past 12 months. You can see it's pretty consistent, except it did have a big spike in June, so something must have happened. But the other thing you can do is look at the history of this keyword volume and see if it's relatively stable, meaning it's always happening. It's not trending down, which would be a bad thing, meaning it's kind of going away. So something like landline telephones might be trending down versus something that's gaining in popularity. And typically you'll see this with new celebrities. You'll see the keyword search volume trending up, and that works the same with the Google Trends. Things that are trending up are becoming more popular. Things that are trending down are becoming less popular, and things that are flat are maintaining their status quo. So now we can actually dig deeper into DDoS. So we could go back to our search keywords, and this time we would just type in DDoS and click a space. The other way we can do things is, instead of going back and searching keywords, what we can actually do is use a shortcut. So if I go back to my searches, and I'm going to go back to the keyword for DDoS, and I'm going to go in here, and you can see I've already performed it ahead of time to save time on the video. So I'm going to organize by CPC. The other thing I can do is actually go and say, okay, rerun that same keyword, okay, for me. So it's just a quick little shortcut. So now what it's doing, it's entered DDoS, and it's running to get suggestions with DDoS as the first word. So you can see DDoS A words and then DDoS B words. So once again, we just simply get all metrics, and then we can start seeing what's in there. But now that I know that DDoS is a huge market, it's relatively stable, okay, we can start doing other types of searches. So I'm going to go back to my searches, and I'm going to look at some of the popular keywords within DDoS where I'm trying to find something that's a little more easy for me to rank and I can get some actual traffic on. So I used the letter D in percent to find my niche, which is DDoS. And then I did percent DDoS, which means do the suggestion before the keyword. So let's take a look at how that would work. So I'm going to open this in a new tab, and then I'm going to go look at how this works. So we press in percent, which is saying do the suggestion at the front, and then I do DDoS, then I click search, and it does the auto suggest before the keyword for me. So you can see now we have A words DDoS, B words DDoS, C words, so on and so forth. Another thing you can do is even do the keyword in the middle, so I can make a phrase up in my mind. So something like best something for DDoS, so we can do a search for that. Okay, and then now I'm getting suggestions. So best attack method for DDoS, best botnet for DDoS, best DDoS method for home. So it's doing more suggestions. So once again, just click on get all metrics, and that will send that away to be analyzed for the volume in the CPC. So back in my searches, let's take a look at some of the keywords that we've already found within the DDoS niche. So let's look at DDoS. Okay, we're gonna analyze that keyword, and then I can see DDoS attack is pretty huge. So people getting DDoS attacked. Okay, we have 18,000 searches per month, a $17 CPC, a low to medium style of competition. So I can look at it on Google Trends. Okay, once again, we had that same spike back in June where something big must have happened. Otherwise, DDoS attacks were fairly stable throughout the year. And then you can see the search volume with the low end in the last year, 10,000 searches a month, but up to about 40,000 late in the year, or back in June up to 30,000. So that peak is the same as the Google Suggest or the Google Trends. We saw a big spike, and we also saw the spike in traffic here. So otherwise, it's relatively stable. So DDoS attacks are a pretty big sub niche of DDoS, so it's worth looking into. So you can see I did DDoS attack, and then I went and I looked at keywords for in DDoS attack. So DDoS attack map, meaning, blizzard, DDoS attack, how to stop. We have DDoS attack definition, and then I looked at this keyword. You can see as we get deeper into the niche, the search volumes start dropping considerably. But here's a keyword with 320 searches a month. A $20 CPC, DDoS attack prevention. That's obviously people looking for prevention against DDoS attacks. That is a very good keyword with a lot of buyer intention behind it. So if you could rank and get some of the traffic for that, it could be pretty good. So we'll look at the trends. Okay, it goes up and down. It's fairly stable with the up and down, and then we'll look at the history of DDoS attack prevention. It does look like it's kind of trending down. It may not be the best keyword in the long term, but right now it's still holding steady. So the next thing we can do is click on the search keyword in Google icon, and that'll open up 4 new browser windows where we're taking that keyword and we're searching in URL, we're searching in the title, we're searching the phrase of the keyword, and then we're searching the main keyword. And this information just helps you analyze how competitive it is as far as a search engine optimization standpoint. So we have 668 results in the URL. We have 1,120 results in the title. Only 52,000 in the phrase match. And then on the front page, we have 1.1 million. So it's really actually not that competitive. And then for all you advanced SEOs who know about Moz, we can actually turn on the Moz Chrome bar extension and kind of look at how powerful are the sites that are ranking. But one of the other things I like to do is take the keyword and search for it on the front page. So I'm saying, I'm looking for it. Does anyone actually have this specific phrase in their title or in their description or even in their URL, DDoS attack prevention? And on the front page of Google, nobody's actually optimized for that keyword, even though we're seeing a bunch of high DA, kind of bigger sites with a lot of authority sitting in the top 10. You can see DA 49, 76, 64. So basically every one of these is above 50. None of them are actually optimized for the actual keyword. And then the next thing we can look at is that this is an inner page that's ranking with 43 links, another inner page with 58 links, inner page 59 links, inner page 164. And then we see this one, inner page with only 10 links, and a blog post with only 3 links. So it's definitely possible. Here's another one, an inner page with only 6 links. So it's definitely possible to build a site for DDoS attack prevention, optimize it correctly, build some links to it, and compete with these sites, because really nobody's optimized. They're similar, but they're not specifically optimized for this particular keyword. So the next thing is Emd Domains actually have quite a bit of power to them. So we can check to see if there's an EMD available. So we'll look for the .com. Okay, DDoS attack prevention, and look at that. Nobody has registered this EMD, so DDoS attack prevention. Now, I'm not saying you have to get an EMD. You can still optimize an inner page. You can see all the pages that are ranking for this are inner pages, but having the EMD is going to be a significant boost in your ranking ability, simply because the exact phrase of the keyword is the domain name, but you could do either or and still get a great result. So that's one way you can do keyword research, how we went from basically a letter down to a market, down to researching within the market, to finding a keyword that you can get traffic for in a pretty competitive niche that does have an EMD available if you go that route, or even if you want to build extra additional pages for that keyword. So let's go back to keyword supremacy, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the DDoS niche and see if we can find anything else. So back on the article, I'm looking at things. You can see we started with D. Okay, then we got a second word, DDoS attacks. Okay, we didn't really look. DDoS attack prevention was our third word. We used the beside strategy to get DDoS A, and that's where we found DDoS attack. So now we're going to do some of the other stuff. Okay, so we did a middle. We also did a middle to find some words. Question, we can do a question. We haven't done that, so let's go ahead and do a question. So we're going to go back to keywords, and we're going to search. Okay, and we can ask a question. Does DDoS, or how to DDoS, or something like that. It can be any question. So, or we can even go back to our searches. Okay, and we can actually search for a question-based keyword. I already seen how to prevent against DDoS, so let's search under DDoS attack. Okay, and we're going to see if there's any question-based, how to stop a DDoS attack. So we can even search our results for the word how, and it will filter out and just give us a bunch of question related keywords. So DDoS attack, how to know how to attack a website. This is a great little keyword, how to know when you're being DDoS. So how to stop, how to prevent DDoS, how to perform a DDoS attack, how to stop a DDoS attack on your router. How do you stop a DDoS attack? So there's lots of great little questions that we can be basically targeting these keywords. So let's take a look at some of these higher search volume keywords. So 880, we're going to look at the trends of how to stop a DDoS attack. So you can see they're expecting this to bump right up. Okay, we can look at the history of this keyword. Very, very stable keyword. So a good keyword that's going to do well for you throughout the months. And then we'll look at it on Google. Okay, the in URL 439. It's a little bit high, 517 in title. Only 10,000 in the phrase match. And then on the front page, only 1.5 million results, which isn't really that many. And now we're going to look at the title. So this guy has it in the description. This guy has it in the title and the description. So it's quite popular in the description. But one thing we can do is do the reverse of it. How to DDoS attack, how to stop. We can look at it that way. So it's kind of not the best use of the English language, but it still gets searched quite a bit. So there we go. Just by reversing that keyword, there's only 10 results in the URL. In the title, only 53. There's only 3,700 in the phrase, and then 1.5 million in the main search. So I'm going to look for this keyword in the title, and there you go. Nobody has it in the title. Nobody has it in the description. And if we really wanted to get weird with our EMD, DDoS attack, how to stop, there you go. The .com is available. So the question-based keyword is another great way to get a lot of traffic, a lot of relevant traffic with a really high CPC, really good search volume, and really low volume. So let's go back to our article, and we're going to continue on. Okay, so we have the questions now that we can do. And what about some comparison, DDoS versus? We haven't done that yet. So we can go back to search keywords, and we can go DDoS versus, and then let it auto suggest any of the suggestions for DDoS. So you can see DDoS versus docs, DRDoS, brute force. So there's all kinds of cool stuff in there that, even though I know a little bit about the DDoS market, I don't know this much about the DDoS market. So Google Suggest is doing a really great job of telling me what are the trending DDoS versus keywords that are happening right now, and we might be able to find some gems. So 73 keywords came up. It's already completed the analysis. We're just going to look at those, and we see DDoS versus DOS, DDoS versus DDoS attack. So let's take a look at some of these. $1.84. The CPCs aren't that great, but this is more informative to bring you some traffic. So this could be great keyword to target for, like, maybe a blog post on your site that sells DDoS hosting. So we're just going to go look at Google. I'm going to close some tabs. DDoS versus DOS. Okay, and we see in URL 48, in title 55, 7,400 in phrase, which is great, and then 6.6 million on the front page. But is anybody optimized for that? And no, nobody is optimized for that keyword. And then we can even look at the Moz links for that keyword, or the Moz power. How powerful are the pages that are ranking? So obviously a Wikipedia that's not optimized. But then you can see 12 links on an inner page, 2 links on an inner page. You can see 2 links on an inner page, 3 links on an inner page. This is something that you could probably rank for, because none of the people on the top 10 are actually optimized for this specific phrase. So it's just basically another keyword that you can target with good optimization, or if you want to build an EMD, it is available. So lots of great ways to get search volume, get ideas, dig into a market, and really be able to uncover an amazing amount of great keywords just based on the auto suggest feature of keyword supremacy. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you see the power of keyword supremacy. Sign up for a free account if you want. We'll give you a few credits to play with the system. 1 credit will get you basically every time I pull back the competition and the volume for each keyword, it costs 1 credit. Okay, even though it's 332 keywords, we'll get you the data for all those keywords for 1 credit. And we have tons of other features inside of Keyword Supremacy, but hopefully this video shows you the power of Keyword Supremacy and how when you're in a pretty competitive market such as DDoS, if we even just look at the DDoS market on the first page of Google, we'll just kind of give you a comparison. If you were selling DDoS hosting as an affiliate, you wouldn't want to go after the word DDoS because if we look at the power of the sites that are ranking on the first page, you can see extremely powerful DA, 1,700 links, extremely powerful DA. That's Wikipedia, Norton. You're competing against Wikipedia, Norton, Cloudflare, Digital Attack Map, high DA, 4,000 links. You can see just the root word of DDoS is extremely competitive, and you're going to be banging your head against a wall trying to get traffic to a site competing against these sites. But when you use the strategies outlined in this article combined with the search data that Keyword Supremacy can get you for these keywords, then you'll be able to start finding some keywords that are still relevant to a DDoS affiliate website and be able to target those keywords, whether it be setting up an EMD, whether it be setting up an inner page. Lots of question keywords for opportunities to show up in the featured rich snippets for answering questions with Q&A schema, and just a great way to really dig into the market, analyze keywords, and find a bunch of golden niches that people aren't even thinking of. So hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you guys grab a free trial of Keyword Supremacy, and we'll talk to you soon.